Hello everybody, welcome to another Spectrum Economics video. Today I'm not going to be presenting any new material, but what I'm going to be looking at is a number of puzzles that can actually be solved by using techniques that are very commonly applied to economics and economic analysis. And some of these will relate to game theory, and some of these may relate to just simply being able to, reverse engineer results to try and find some sort of causation. And I presented this in terms of puzzles, not exactly economics per se, but some of the ideas are there anyway. So this is the first video in this series, and I'm going to now just run through an example puzzle just to show what I mean, and then I'll have another 3 more puzzles in this video for you to actually do by yourself. So if you want more time, you can just pause the video whenever you like to work it out, and the answers to all these puzzles will be at the end of the video. Okay, so let's have a look at our first game. So what we've got here is a tournament, a very simple tournament with just 3 teams in it, 3 sports teams, and they've played each other once. So you've got the All Greens, they've played the Brawlers and the Vikings once, the Brawlers have played the All Greens and the Vikings once, and the Vikings have played the Brawlers and the All Greens once. And below that I've got another table that shows the number of points for a win, for a draw, and for a loss. So you can see the points here. So with this information we can actually reverse engineer this and actually determine what the results were of each game. So this is a very simple one. I've got a number of puzzles later on that are going to be a little bit more complicated. But let's see how we can work this out. So the All Greens have 4 points. So that means they must have won one game and drawn another game. So who could they have won the game against? So you have a look against the Brawlers. The Brawlers have 2 points. So they've drawn both of their games. They didn't beat the Brawlers. So how about the Vikings? The Vikings only have 1 point, so they must have 1 defeat and 1 draw. So therefore the Greens got their victory over the Vikings. It gives them their 3 points. Then the Brawlers, with the 2 points, they must have drawn both their games. So you got 2 draws there. And then we got the Vikings who drew with the Brawlers, and that actually covers off, as you can see in this table here, the 3 games that were played and what the results were. So this is a very simple puzzle. Now I've got a number of puzzles for you guys to try by yourselves. So okay, on to our first question now. So this time we've got 4 teams instead of 3, so you're going to have a few more games. So that'll be each team plays 3 games each. So we're not going to have a home and away system, just the one off like in the first example. So we've got teams A, B, C and D. Kept this fairly simple. Team A has 7 points, Team B 4, Team C 3 and Team D 1. So have a go, see if you can reverse engineer this. If you need time, just pause the video and think about it, and we'll get to the answers at the end of the video. So that will be after the next 2. So we've only got 3 questions. So yeah, just have a go at that. Now on to our second question. A little bit more creative this time. I'm actually giving them names. So you've got the teams here: Queens with 7 points, Bounty with 6, Hearts with 4, and Jokers with 0. Again, it's the same idea. Each team plays each other once, and with the information here, you should be able to work out what the results were of each game that was played. Bear in mind that it's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a defeat. Okay, so again, you can just pause the screen here and think about it. Right, now we're on to our third and final question for this video. Again, same rules: 3 wins for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a defeat. We've got our teams here. We've got the Alligators, 6 points, Bunnies on 5, Crabs and Elephants both on 2. And it's like before, the teams only play each other once. So after this, we'll go and look at the results of the 3 questions. So if you like to pause it here and think about this, maybe jot it down, and then we'll go over the answers any moment now. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer to question 1. So what do we have here? So first of all, what's useful is to actually just add up the total number of points. So for example, so we have a total of 6 games that were played with a 4-team tournament, and that could give you, if every game resulted in someone winning, a total of 18 points. Or if they're all draws, then that would give you a total of 12 points. And that gives us a good idea of how many games are drawn and how many games are won. So in this case, we've got 7 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. That gives us 15. So that will be able to tell us that we've actually had 3 draws. And you can see from the points there, you've got D, they 1 point, so they must have drawn again. B have got 4 points, so that would be a win and a draw, so they got a draw there. And you've got A, which has got 2 wins, and the 7th point would also be a draw. So who have they all drawn with? It would have to be C, if you actually work it out, because there's not enough draws to go around if it's just the 3 teams. So C's got their 3 points through drawing all 3, rather than winning 1 and losing 2. So on that basis, if C drew with A, B, and D, that gives D the 1 point, and that also gives B 1 of their 4. So A still got 6 more points, so they must have beaten both B and D in order to get those 6 points. For B to have got their 3 points, considering they must have lost to A and have already drawn with C, they must have defeated D. And then that leaves D then with just the 1 point. And that gives us our answer of A with 7, B with 4, C with 3, and D with 1. Let's now take a look at the answer to question 2. So as I mentioned before about the total points, ranging between 12 and 18. So you can see here, if you add them all up, we have 4 plus 6, 10, plus 7, 17. So therefore there must be 1 draw that's taken place. So you look at the numbers, so you've got hearts, so they've got 4 points, and queens that have 7. So queens must have drawn 1 to get the 7, and hearts must have also drawn. So queens and hearts have drawn again. Therefore, queens, in order to get 7 points, they must have beaten both bounty and jokers. So now that gives them their 7 points. So hearts have now got 1 more win, and the jokers have got 0 points. They must have lost all their games. That 1 win must have gone against the jokers. So that gives hearts their 4 points. Bounty lost to queens, for queens to get their number. So therefore, bounty, to get their 6 points, they must have beaten both hearts and they must have beaten the jokers. And there you go. That gives queens 7 points, bounty 6, hearts 4, and jokers 0. Okay, so let's now look at question 3. So as I mentioned before with the previous 2, look at the total points between 12 and 18. So what have we got here? We've got alligators on 6, bunnies 5, that's 11, 2 for crabs and 2 for elephants. So that gives us 15. So that tells us that 3 of the 6 games were drawn. And we know 2 of those involve the elephants and crabs, and also the bunnies. So the bunnies must have drawn with both the crabs and the elephants, and the crabs and the elephants must have drawn with themselves. How we know this is because of the alligators. They have 6 points. Therefore, they must have lost the game, and the crabs or the elephants could not have beaten them because neither team has more than 3 points, or 3 points, shall I say. So the alligators have a win over both the crabs and the elephants, and they lost to the bunnies. That gives the bunnies 3 points, and the 2 points from each draw, the 1 point from each draw gives the bunnies 5 points, and that gives the crabs and the elephants, as they drew with each other, also 2 points. And it gives us our solution of alligators on 6, bunnies on 5, crabs on 2, elephants on 2. And yep, that takes us to the end of our last puzzle. Okay, so this is the end of my first video presentation on puzzles. I've got a number of other puzzles to come along as well. If you enjoyed this, click the like button. If you want to see more puzzle videos like this, hit the subscribe button. I've also got a lot of other videos that I've done as well, ones that are sort of more informative types in regards to, I've got vegan economics, microeconomics, macroeconomics, got some game theory and stuff like that, as well as some conference papers you can have a look over. So if any of that interests you, remember to hit the subscribe button. I generally put out 2 videos a week, normally Mondays and Fridays. At the moment I'm writing a book, so I might have to cut down the videos to maybe just 1 a week at some point. But anyway, thank you for listening, and hopefully I will hear more from you. Have a good day.